What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my video, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my store. Yeah, it's been a tough year for business owners. Whatever recession you want to call it, whatever's going on, people just don't have a lot of money hanging around. And I created this channel to help you on your successful journey in your new business. That's what I do. I've owned this grocery store for 5 years now, just over 5 years. So if you are new here, welcome to the channel. Yeah, we're gonna get into the things that pretty much almost bankrupted me in my first year of business. I want you to avoid these at all costs. And yeah, let's get into this one. It's gonna be a deep, insightful conversation. It's not to discourage anybody or flatten out your dreams. I just want you to avoid these things. Probably 99% of entrepreneurs have committed these mistakes, including myself, and they literally can make or break your business. So let's get into number one. Number one was my biggest mistake, and it wasn't having a clear business plan. Sure, I knew I was going to open up a grocery store. I knew, kind of generally what I was going to carry. I understood the area a little bit, but I didn't have my clear goals on what I wanted from this business in 6 months, a year, 2 years, how much I projected to, bring in revenue, who my customer was. These are things that you will have to answer on a business plan. And I know nobody wants to make business plans. They don't have to be complex. I would literally say 1 to 2 pages. Unfortunately, most people don't write down anything at all, let alone a business plan. And there's so many resources out there to find how to create a simple business plan, which you will need if you need a business loan anyways, that there's no excuse on why you can't write down a business plan anymore. While this, didn't completely destroy my business, it didn't give me the time at least once a week to look at something and be like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this. I wanted to do this by this date. I'm gonna be, at this point by this date. There was no general vision that I could look at on a map, we'll say, because I hadn't written a business plan. And that's unfortunate because I think it could have changed, my direction on where I am today. But eventually I did write, a proper business plan after a little while. I really regret not starting with one. So yeah, that is something that you don't want to glance over, because it's not the fun or the sexy part, we'll call it, of starting a business, sitting down, typing out, your revenue projections. There's nothing, some people like that, but there's nothing that, really gives you that energy of being a business owner by making this business plan. That's why nobody does them, because they're not fun, but they need to be done. Just keep that in mind. Just to jump in really quick, I could probably make this video 25 hours if I wanted to, with all the mistakes that I made. Unfortunately, these mistakes are the ones that I remember affecting me the most, and I think they'll be the most important for you on your business journey. Again, I make thousands of mistakes probably every single week here. Business is all about a learning process. You'll keep growing and learning as you keep building your business. So yeah, I'm still making mistakes. Maybe not these particular ones as I'm mentioning in this video, but I'm still making mistakes every day, and everybody is. Don't be fooled by anybody who has successful businesses. They're still making the same mistakes every single day. If you are a happy subscriber of this channel and you've tried this coffee, thank you. This is our very own roast. I've put everything this channel has made back into creating our own line, our own coffee that we serve out here every day at the store. If you want to give it a try, you can go down to 13grandcoffee.com. Really appreciate it. If not, just give us a like on this video if you enjoyed this video at any time. If you didn't like it, I don't know if there's still a dislike button, but you could press dislike. It doesn't really matter, but I hope you like it. And the coffee. If you like the video, I'll send you 1 bean. Mistake number 2 was I almost quit too early. After about 6 months, I realized how difficult it was to be an entrepreneur, be a business owner, especially in a business like this, which is absolutely 24/7 at the start. When you're dealing with food and perishable items, You need to be on it, on top of everything at all times of day. It's such a time sensitive business that there was absolutely no freedom for that first 6 months. Remember, you know, I was listening to all these people telling me, you know, it would be easier just to go get a job again, you know, just see if you can get out of your lease or sell this place and move on and, you know, do something else, and maybe one day you can come back to it. And I was starting to get convinced that this was going to be too difficult of a task to keep going, and that maybe it was better just to go get a job, but you know, that was a little safer, that I actually had a paycheck, because I wasn't making any money at this point. And I remember vividly sitting with my dad, and I told him, you know, I don't know if I should be running this place 100% of the year. Maybe I can run it seasonally, like a few months out of the year. And he, you know, he's been an entrepreneur for 40, 50 years now, and he literally said, do you think your landlord is going to agree to that? Even if you come up with some sort of rental agreement, do you think he's really going to be happy with that? Your customers don't even know you yet. You've been doing this 6 months. Talk to me in 40 years. And I really thought to myself, you know, I haven't given this a real chance. I haven't really given it even a year. You know, maybe I really need to reassess this in 4 or 5 years and see what we want to do here. But I almost quit too early, and that's what happens to a lot of entrepreneurs. They start something, they're all happy, and their ego's kind of let's say stretched, and everyone's counting on them to have this huge business, and then you realize it's just a lot of work and you're not getting paid. So it gets very discouraging and you want to quit, and a lot of people do quit too early without giving it a true chance. So give it a couple of years at least. If you can make it, keep going. Because I'm telling you, you think you're going to get rid of this and start something else that's going to be any better, it's going to be the exact same struggle. The first few years of anything is shit. Remember that line. If you made it to this part of the video, it's not even late. The first few years of anything is shit, because that's when it's the hardest. So that's where I'm at with that. That's my quote of the day. The first few years of everything is shit. So number 3, and whenever you start something new, especially a business, you're going to get advice from every single person who you come in contact with. Even if they don't have any clue of being in business, they will provide you with advice. I always joke, it's like being a new mom, you know. Every other mom has advice on how you should, you know, take care of your baby that you spend with 24/7. When you open a business, you will get the advice from customers, family members, grandmothers, mothers, pets. Everyone has a say in your business, because, you know, they feel like just because they've entered grocery stores or eaten at restaurants, or they know how to cook at home, that they have the secret solution that will change your business. Here's where my mistake started. I started listening to all these people that had no experience in business. You know, change this, move this shelf here, why don't we do things like this? And, you know, I started doing all these things, and it didn't lead to anything, because they had no experience. And no offense to them, but, you know, their opinions didn't exactly lead to my results. At the end of the day, if I lost money on their advice, it was only me that was losing. They'd just walk away. Oh, sorry, Ray, you know, it didn't work out. I know you spent $1,000 on my advice, but yeah, sorry. And I'm not telling you guys to, you know, not take anyone's advice and just be that stone cold piece of crap business owner that thinks they know absolutely everything. There's people that have the experience in your business. Their advice is gold. If I was able to talk to someone who owned a grocery store for 30 years, their advice would mean a lot more than just anybody off the street. I'm not saying it would be perfect. Every situation is different, but just be careful whose advice you take, because if you lose, it's just you that loses. Just remember, they're not going to care as much as you, because it's not their money on the line. So here's a really important one that I still fall victim to this day, and it's I'm trying to do everything myself. This tripod is a little wobbly here. It's balanced on a little bunch of crates of popcorn. That's the tripods we use around here. We're very off the cuff, rustic style videos. If you're new here, you're still watching, thank you. subscribe maybe. It's gonna be a long journey in business together. And hopefully you start yours as well. Today here, I still do a lot of the work myself. Probably between me and Felicia, we split about 45% of the work here. So the other 10% is done by people that help us sometimes, or vendors who stock the shelves. There's other people that kind of will come in and do, you know, a few things here and there to fix things. But, you know, at the end of the day, the majority of this business relies on me and Felicia. And I have started 2 other businesses. One is completely employee run. I'm going to reveal that in the next video. The coffee business that I mentioned earlier in this video is run probably 30% by me at this point. And yeah, I just have to stress, if you're going to try to do everything yourself, you will fail. Because the bottom line is not because, you know, you don't know what you're doing well enough to succeed in it. You personally as an individual can only work so much before you burn out. In my first year of business, I was working 15, 16-hour days. I would go home, eat something quick, repeat. I must have lost 35 pounds that year. I just stopped eating, even though this store is full of food, and stopped taking care of myself completely. I stopped working out, you know, stopped, you know, really trying to eat healthy. I just would grab something quick on the way home. It was the most stressful year probably of my life. It was probably one of the best years as well, you know, put that into perspective. But I'm telling you, I hit a burnout and I didn't even realize I hit it. Bottom line is, you need to find a team that you can trust and be able to delegate the work. I haven't even been able to do that 100% here. This business is probably going to be one of those places that I'm an owner-operator. Eventually, we will have a few people taking our spot here and there. But at this point, honestly, I need to work on this one. It's still something that can completely end the business. If I, you know, burn out or get hurt or something like that, there's going to be a big problem trying to fill my space to run this store every day. One person like Felicia can't do this alone. So there's got to be something that covers you in case something happens. You're not some 100% effective AI robot that won't ever, you know, need time off or, you know, get sick or hurt or something. You got to think of that, because that's something that, you know, that first year of business, I got lucky that, you know, I didn't completely shut down and couldn't manage this place. But unfortunately, a lot of entrepreneurs do that, and they still do that. So it's something you need to work on. Next mistake is I was failing to network. I thought my business would exist on its own. I knew what I was doing. I've been in this business a long time. You know, open the doors, get people in, sell the products, and that's it. But I didn't realize the potential you have with the old common saying, it's all about who you know. So after a while, I realized this place actually went through its first honeymoon phase where people were coming in to check it out, that it was new. But then after, people went back to their old habits, shopping where they were shopping, and I wasn't getting any new customers at all, or they were buying very little. Then I realized, you know, I need to bring in more products. I need to bring in things that people want. So I started connecting with, you know, people that were in the local small business market, just like I was. You know, we tried a local kombucha, a local honey, local pierogies. And after a while, you know, these people would bring in their own audience or customers, because those people wanted those products. This was the venue to get them. And then I would connect with the owners of that business. Do this like this, try this like this. These people have been in the business longer than me, so it was time to network and learn from the people that were in the same business. It's all about who you know. As I started networking with more and more small business owners, and currently we're probably networked with over 100, and we carry most of their products. But those people started, you know, referring their customers to me, or recommending other things to me, or check out these guys, this sells well, this doesn't, I have a store like yours, try this, try that, this doesn't do good anymore, move that out. Those are the people you need to connect with, because they are the ones doing this successfully. So this is why being open in your community, connecting with people that have already done this, benefits everybody, including yourself. So my next big mistake, and it came probably mid-year, is I was too afraid to pivot into what was working. So we started with just fruits and vegetables, strictly just fruits and vegetables. But then I started to realize people were coming in for like 2 limes, 1 pear. They weren't really buying anything. And then what would happen was we would have a lot of waste every single day that we would have to throw away. So this was where we had to make the pivot into investing a little more into grocery products that were longer lasting than just the fruits and vegetables. And I was so strict on, I just want to be a produce market. I just want to just sell fruits and vegetables. That's what I grew up doing, and that's what I want to do. However, it was time, and it took me too long to get there, but it was time to start bringing in other products that people were buying with their fruits and vegetables. As you saw in our store many times over, we offer pretty much a full market now, from dairy to chips to snacks to meat to anything you could pretty much imagine at a grocery store. I have it, just in a smaller amount. So this is where we're at now, and that took me too long to get here. I was too afraid to pivot. We also didn't have the financing to start with all this stuff. And that is the stubborn mind that you have to get out of your own way in order to really succeed and grow in business. Change it up if it's not working. Try something new if it's not working. Move on if it's completely killing you. And those are the things that really stubborn. Your ego gets in the way. You don't want to change. This is my idea. I don't need to change it. That's when you need to get out of your own way. And the last mistake that I'll mention in this video, like I said before, I made thousands of mistakes. These are the highlighted ones for this video, is I focused too much on the competition. We have a similar store about half a kilometer away from here, and the first year I was obsessed with, they're copying what I carry. They have this at this price, or their customers seem to go to them at this time and not this time. How many customers a day do they have? How many people are working behind the counters? I was focused so much on the competition, and that took away my focus from my own store. And yes, you should be aware of what your competition is doing, where they're headed, but you shouldn't let it take over your day-to-day. I remember me and Felicia would get so pissed off at certain things that this store had done that we would spend all day debating it, talking about it, kind of seeing what we can do better. But at the end of the day, you have to realize when you're in business, it's like a personal development thing too. You need to focus on competing against yourself and making yourself better and better every day, because you can't control what they do. You can't control how successful they're going to be. You can only control your business, and making it better is the only way to really grow. It doesn't matter exactly what you see over there, what you see happening in a similar business. It won't change the fact that you're not doing well, or that you're not happy with the way things are going. I'm gonna end this video here, guys. Thank you for watching, as always. These were the things that pretty much almost put me under. There's probably 1,000. I can make this video last 24 hours if I wanted to, but these are the ones that I wanted to highlight today. These are probably the biggest and most important ones that are relevant across the business scene. Have a good night.